Some people use ChatGPT to be productive. That's not what I do. I use ChatGPT for entertainment or someone to talk to. I ask ChatGPT important questions like, what fragrances do you think the James Bonds would wear?
The thought had occurred to me.
And there are some pretty interesting answers, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Stick around and we'll get started. All right, welcome back. Before we get started, please subscribe, ring the bell, do everything you need to do so you don't miss any future related fragrance content here on my channel. So to date, there have been 6 James Bonds, and ChatGPT has picked a fragrance for each James Bond. I too have picked a fragrance for James Bond, and I want you to let me know in the comments who has the better pick for that specific James Bond. Or just all in all, let me know who won, ChatGPT or me.
Give the people what they want!
Let's start with Sean Connery. Let's start with the original Bond, Sean Connery. The fragrance ChatGPT has picked for Sean Connery's James Bond is Bond number 9, Chez Bond. Bond number 9 is kind of fitting for James Bond, don't you think? Here's the reason why ChatGPT picked Chez Bond. Connery's Bond was classic, suave, and rugged. Bond number 9 Chez offers a modern twist with its fresh, vibrant citrus notes and a warm, woody base. The blend of elegance and boldness mirrors Connery's portrayal of 007. Cool under pressure, but with a touch of danger. And that's an excellent pick for Connery's Bond. In fact, I think all Bonds should be wearing some form of green Irish tweed. And that's what Chez Bond smells like. This smells a lot like Creed's green Irish tweed. But my pick for Sean Connery's Bond is Memo African Leather. This fragrance is a leather fragrance, but it's more about the cardamom. It is sweet and it's warm, but also pretty versatile and very elegant, very classy and sophisticated. He could wear this in a tux playing cards or hand-to-hand combat with a bald dude with fake teeth. Sean Connery is perhaps the most masculine of the Bonds, and this is a very masculine fragrance. I think this would work for Sean Connery.
Well, he's certainly left with his tails between his legs.
Next, we have George Lazenby, the second Bond, the 1969 Bond. He was in one film, and ChatGPT has picked Versace Oud Noir. Again, another fragrance that I think would probably work for any of the James Bonds. Lazenby's Bond was more understated, yet still had an air of sophistication. Versace Oud Noir reflects this with its smooth, refined oud and spice. The scent is rich yet approachable, aligning with Lazenby's calm, collected demeanor. Excellent pick from ChatGPT. I have no beef with this. But my pick for Lazenby's Bond is 8 Bob's Nuit de Megeve. This is a cool fragrance that, again, I think would work for just about any Bonds. That said, there are darker picks for more darker Bonds. This is a tobacco fragrance, but it still is relatively fresh. It's a citrus tobacco fragrance. Again, pretty versatile. It's a little bit fun. You could dress it up or you could dress it down. Again, pretty versatile. And again, I think it would be a great pick for Lazenby. Number 3 would be Roger Moore, the 70s and early 80s Bond. The original Octopussy himself. When I was a kid, I loved Roger Moore's Bonds. I watch him now and they're pretty silly, pretty ridiculous.
Well, he always did have an inflated opinion of himself.
Moonraker nonsense. Anywho, ChatGPT has picked Guerlain Homme EDP. Another excellent pick from ChatGPT. Moore's Bond was charming, playful, and elegant. Guerlain Homme EDP captures this vibe with its fresh mint and rum, combined with a light floral and woody base. It's fun yet sophisticated, making it a perfect match for Moore's suave and witty take on Bond.
Stinging in the rain.
That's not funny, 007.
Part of me thinks this fragrance might be a little too good for Roger Moore's Bond, but I see what they're doing and I agree. It's a great pick. My pick for Roger Moore's Bond is also perhaps a little too good for him, but it's M7 from YSL, a classic fragrance. You have citrus, you have patchouli, you have oud, and at the same time it's very sophisticated, but also very wearable, a little bit fun, much like Roger Moore's take on Bond. I remember him tuxing up a lot, and I think this is something you could wear pretty easily in a tux. And that's probably the main reason I picked M7. Number 4 is Timothy Dalton, the most underrated Bond to date. If you haven't seen License to Kill, go back and watch it. It was a late 80s Bond. In fact, I think he was only Bond twice. And License to Kill is one of the best Bonds. I love that film. After Roger Moore, they kind of brought Bond back to earth, made him a little bit darker, a little grittier, much like they did again with Daniel Craig after Pierce Brosnan got so silly.
I never miss.
But ChatGPT picked Dior Homme Intense, and again, they killed it. They nailed it. Dalton's Bond was dark, intense, and emotionally complex. Dior Homme Intense reflects this with its powdery iris, leather, and woody notes. The fragrance carries an air of mystery, just like Dalton's portrayal of a more serious and brooding 007.
Would you get me a medium dry vodka martini?
What is
Shaken.
not stirred.
I can't argue with this at all. This might be the best pick for Timothy Dalton's Bond. But I'm gonna try and beat it. I picked Pasha de Cartier Noir. This is a clean, powdery, woody fragrance. It's sophisticated, but charming and wearable. I never understood why they called this Noir. It's not a dark fragrance. It probably leans more into Parfums de Marly Percival than it does anything. It's a great everyday scent that you can certainly dress up. It is a little bit more sophisticated than Percival, and there is just a hint of a darkness to it.
I had the feeling my luck was about to change.
There's iris and violet. It's clean, sophisticated. It's perfect for any Bond, especially Timothy Dalton's Bond. Number 5, Pierce Brosnan, the 90s Bond. And for Pierce Brosnan, ChatGPT picked Creed Aventus, the King. GoldenEye was one of the best Bond movies, and it might deserve Creed Aventus, but that would be the only Pierce Brosnan Bond movie that deserves Creed Aventus. Here's the reasoning. Brosnan's Bond was charismatic, sophisticated, and modern. Creed Aventus mirrors this with its confident blend of pineapple, birch, and musk. The scent is bold, refined, and timeless, perfect for Brosnan's smooth and calculated take on Bond. Sorry, ChatGPT, you're giving Pierce Brosnan way too much credit.
I never miss.
Again, if anything, I'd probably have picked Green Irish Tweed, but I'm gonna go with Zenga Triple Stitch Verdigris, which has a little bit of that Green Irish Tweed DNA. It's very clean and fresh, but also a little bit dressy. It's very different, but it has some of those suave characteristics that's found in Green Irish Tweed. Unfortunately, it's discontinued, and that bottle is just about as cool as you get. And last but certainly not least, what is possibly the best Bond to date, Daniel Craig. And for Daniel Craig, ChatGPT picked Roja's Apex. Craig's Bond is gritty, intense, and emotionally complex. Roja Apex reflects this with its powerful blend of citrus, lavender, and ambergris. The fragrance is bold, aromatic, and luxurious, perfectly capturing Craig's commanding presence and depth. ChatGPT once again killed it. It scares me just how good ChatGPT is.
I'll drink to that.
It's good, but is it perfect? I don't know. I've always had Daniel Craig's Bond tagged with Dior Homme Parfum. This is Daniel Craig in a bottle.
I'm not sure I ever had a choice.
It's a clean Irish fragrance backed by a smoky leather and oud. It is dark and mysterious. It is dressed to the nines and perfect for any Bond, especially Daniel Craig's Bond. If I beat ChatGPT on any of them, I know I beat him on Daniel Craig's Bond. But again, you be the judge. Let us know in the comments. I do hope you enjoyed this silliness. I'm Marshall the Scent Addict. Come back and see us next time.
I thought Christmas only comes once a year.